Hola, bom dia. Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show. And of course, brought to you by expatsportugal.com. How are you today? Do let me know. How about a quick hola, bom dia from you, wherever you are in the world? It is terça-feira, 20 dia de outubro. I need some help with this, actually, because when I've looked up the 20th, this is for you Portuguese people who very kindly help us with the technicalities of the Portuguese language. But when I don't think you say the 20th, do you, when you're saying the date? I think we maybe say day 20, so dia 20 de outubro is the correct way of saying that. But I need a little bit of help with that. I just want to make sure we say the day and the date and the month in Portuguese so that we're building our vocabulary all the time. But I need to make sure I've done that right. So terça-feira, dia 20 de outubro, would that be correct this morning? Do please let me know. And yeah, do shout out in the comments who you are, where you are, and how you are in relation to Portugal. Are you here already? Are you using this as your morning show to get the day started, to find out a bit about Portugal, your new place of your life, or are you on your way here? Are you making plans, hatching plans to be here with us in Portugal at some stage in the future? First in this morning, Jim McDonald in Wiesbaden, Germany. Good morning to you, Jim. A good old bon dia to you. Which he is extending to everybody else in our community this morning. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. And let's have a quick look at the weather. It's all about the weather. I'm just looking out the window here of the Good Morning Portugal studio. Smoke on the horizon. The people are lighting their stoves, aren't they, at home, and their fires, getting the smell of wood smoke in the air. It's a lovely scene. And hold on. Natalie's saying hello as well. Natalie and Vitor, bon dia from Milton Keynes in the UK. And Owen is saying hola, bon dia. Tenyon, bon dia. Have a great day. Paul Williams, hola, bon dia from a very damp, but luckily not too windy, Cabanas de Tavira. What a week to arrive in Portugal, Paul. I do not think we'll venture too far today. I'll tell you a bit more about Barbara in just a moment. And bon dia from a wet Alvazara. Those Globetrotters. The Johnsons are back in the country. The flag is flying, like how they do outside Buckingham Palace in Alvazara there. So let's see what the forecast is before we go into some background or a deeper look at the implications of Barbara. I will share with you my weather screen, as I like to do, and give you the temperatures for today. Let's see, is that loading up? Was that behaving itself this morning? No, doesn't like it. Let me just try that one more time with you. By the way, what are you drinking this morning? I've had me what we call Throbscottle here, the Roald Dahl reference. I've had my Honeygger this morning, and I'm now onto a British cup of tea, having got used to the UHT milk. Let me just try this weather again and get it on the screen for you. Yeah, and I will be sharing from Safe Communities Portugal. So many tabs open, so many things I want to tell you about. I had a really wonderful chat with a fellow last night, Julian Sorensen, on the Portugal show, the one we do in the evening, who has a wonderful Instagram site called Lisboa Car Free. It does what it says on the tin, really. And he has the most amazing adventures using public transport around Lisbon. Goes as far as Évora, would you believe, and is a massive fan of this that I have in front of me, the travel card of Portugal. Hold on, I can't. Let me just take that off the screen for a minute there. Yeah, the travel card of Lisbon, the Viva card, €40 a month, pretty much go anywhere in and around Lisbon. So let's see if this weather's behaving itself now. Yes, there we go. That's much better, isn't it? And your on-the-spot weather reporting is always valued as well. But let's have a look in Lisbon at the moment. 63 Fahrenheit. We'll start with the Fahrenheit, 70 degrees centigrade. 3 more days of rain forecast there. Temperatures around 19 degrees for the next 3 days in the capital. And a nice sunny weekend to look forward to. A definite silver lining with these clouds that are currently brought to you by Barbara. Porto, 16 degrees and overcast at the moment. 17 degrees of temperature. They're coming along with 4 rainy days in Porto. Coimbra, a similar scene, 16 to 19, the temperature range over the next 3 days. And it's raining there, of course, as well. 16 degrees. 20 degrees and raining in Faro. 3 days of rain forecast there. But still, 23 degrees ain't so bad, is it, today? The high in Faro. So let me go deeper into what the Safe Communities Portugal, beautiful people there, and the incredible work they do to keep us nice and safe with their announcements. Like I said, I have got so many tabs open. Let me just let me just see if I can get back to that. Are you like me, where you save lots of things on Facebook and never look at them? This is the link I want is among those. Oh, okay, I found it now. Let us go to the new Facebook design. Enjoying that, are we? I think not many people like the new Facebook design. I do. I'm a big fan. But let me share it with you now. If you've not seen it, here you go. We are looking at mine now. Save Communities Portugal with Depression Barbara situation Tuesday, the 20th of October. Please take care and share. Little hashtag there, isn't it? Take care and share. The ANEPC forecast a relief from the meteorological situation during the dawn of today, but from 9 o'clock about now, there should be a further deterioration. That's not in relation to the show, I hope. 8 districts under orange alert. The districts of Lisboa, Santarém, Setúbal, Porto Alegre, Castelo Branco, Aveiro, Coimbra and Porto in a state of special orange alert. That sounds like Donald Trump, the state of special orange alert, doesn't it? The second most serious of the scale as of midnight today because of heavy rain and wind. In the civil protection system, the special orange alert status means that the risk level is high and a dangerous situation is expected, with conditions for the occurrence of unusual phenomena that can cause damage to people and property, jeopardizing their safety. This determines emergency services and response. The state will last until 11:59, so pretty much midnight on Wednesday, which concurs with the forecast I've just given you. Red notice for 5 districts. That's Lisbon, Setúbal, Santarém, Porto Alegre, and Castelo Branco are also under red weather warning today. The most serious weather warning today in those areas of Lisbon, Setúbal, Santarém, Porto Alegre, and Castelo Branco, due to the forecast of heavy rain following the passage of the Barbara depression, according to the Portuguese Institute of the Sea and Atmosphere. That is the gauntlet I run. People are sending me messages now on Facebook, and that just flashes up. I hope to goodness, look, somebody's sending me Donald Trump dancing without a mask on. Oh dear. Okay, the red warning, the most serious of a scale of 4, will be in effect in the 5 districts between midday and 1800 today. I'm fighting Facebook alerts as I try and do this. The red warning corresponds to an extremely hazardous weather situation. In this situation, the IPMA recommends that people keep up to date with the evolution of weather conditions and follow the guidelines of civil protection. Basically, stay indoors. Be very careful if you do have to go out and drive, of course. But it's pretty serious. This is. I don't really understand these pictures, but they look pretty impressive, don't they? Yeah. So basically, be careful out there, folks. We are in orange and red warning territory until Wednesday with Depression Barbara, Storm Barbara, and my commiserations to you if you're actually called Barbara at the moment. It can't be easy, can it? When this happens to most people at some stage of the year, doesn't it? They have some sort of storm or depression named after them. Have you had one named after you? I don't think if there has been a Hurricane Carl or Carlos. I'm not sure. Maybe there has. Let's go to a few more of your hellos. I've got an electric scooter to sell you. I've got beach cams from Nazaré. I want to show you one of the adventures that Julian Sorensen went on his Lisboa car-free Instagram site that chronicles his adventures. And I want to show you the president stripped down from the waist. I think that's it for today, plus, of course, your comments. But I'm sure that'll keep us busy and chatting. Bom dia, cuidado com a Barbara. Yes, be careful with Barbara. She's quite a lady. She's quite a gal. From Anna there. Cuidado com a Barbara. Building our Portuguese all the time. Thanks for that, Anna. Really appreciate it. Good morning from Chicago. Hello, Cindy. How are you this morning? What's Chicago like at the moment? And election fever, of course, over there in the United States. Hola, bon dia from Andrew Scarborough. Hi, Andrew. I'm 41 from Australia with plans to spend my 50s there, already learning the language. Good man. Andrew, I think it was you that asked us about the film list from our Expat Man Cave a couple of weeks ago. It is in the Expat Man Cave group if you want to go back to that. And thank you for joining us on that evening. I thought that was a fascinating talk about film noir. We do all sorts here on Good Morning Portugal, the Portugal show, the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, and the Expat Man Cave, our current offering to you. Bon dia, my dear. 15 years in Portugal, came on honeymoon and stayed. Excellent. That's a lovely story, which we must talk about one day. That's unusual and wonderful, Sean. Thank you very much. Coming here on honeymoon and staying. A bit difficult for the folks back home, right? How's the honeymoon going? Brilliant. We're not coming back. Ty, we lost power from about 6 to 9 last night. Long enough to be interesting, not so long to become a concern. Yeah, so you were sort of in yellow and orange territory, not red, as far as color codes for power cuts go. Yeah, a little throwback to the 70s, I suppose, isn't it? When you lose power for more than, you know, how sometimes it flickers off. I think, ooh, yes, perhaps we are a little bit vulnerable, but it's back within a little while and your Wi-Fi resets and all is well in the world. But then when it goes to more than about 5 or 10 minutes and you begin to think, actually, we've no idea how long this is going to go on for. Hope it stops soon. But yeah, 3 hours, that's pretty respectable. And I think I saw a picture of your rather fine candelabra that was lighting your home last night, Ty. I hope you had a nice romantic evening as a result. I made the most of it. Owen, rain clearing in Villa de Rey. High winds expected this afternoon. More days of the same. There's the weather report from Villa de Rey for you folks who live around there. Garvo, Gary Austin, can you wish my daughter Chrissy a happy birthday today? Absolutely. Parabéns. I think we should have the Good Morning Portugal choir so we can do a parabéns a você and give anyone who's having a birthday some greetings. I did read in the last day or two that 11 million people have a birthday every day or something. Is that right? But we couldn't possibly say a happy birthday to them all, I figured out. But we can certainly say happy birthday to you. Chrissy, have a great day. Trouble is the message from Gary Garvo in Alvazra this morning. How lovely. Do have a wonderful day from all of us here at Good Morning Portugal. Faro is pronounced Faro. Setúbal is pronounced Stubble. Thank you, Natalie. I know I pronounced Stubble incorrectly. This has come from, I'm in that situation. You know, when you pronounce a word and you have a little bit of anxiety about it, and then you're pretty much, I think you give up. I don't know how to pronounce it anymore. I do try and say Stubal, and then I forget and I go back to Setúbal. But Stubal it is, for as long as we can remember that. And Faro and Stubal. Thank you very much for the pronunciation check there. Faro and Stubal. Very good. Barbara says, good morning. Yes, I seem to... we have a Barbara. We have a Barbara among us. Yes, I seem to be causing a depression. Stay safe. You heard it from Barbara herself there. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks for being a sport as well. Good morning from Serpa again. Oh, you've returned to Serpa. We have not met Barbara yet. Just started to rain, but not heavy. Tomorrow we're getting on NIF. Yes, for those of you who don't know what a NIF is, it is the contribuent is another name for it. You get asked for that in the supermarket. It's like your national insurance number here in Portugal or your tax code. And well, all of Portuguese life revolves around it. Let me put it like that. If you want to do anything official here, residency, visas, etc., buy a house, you need to have a NIF. So it's not that difficult to do. And it kind of helps you feel well and truly part of the system, doesn't it? Once you've got your NIF. It was one of the early things we did. And we had a lovely time at the Alcobaça office of Finanças getting ours. And just so you know, I was able to give a non-Portuguese address. So don't let that put you off. Get yourselves a NIF, everybody, and make life a little bit easier. Up to you whether you want to declare it in the supermarket. How many of you expats here, when you're in Lidl and you're asked for your contribuent, how many of you cough it up and can remember it off by heart? Yes, that's the big question. I know mine off by heart. Very cold in Chicago, says Cindy, but we missed the snow yesterday. Good for you. And this time, she says, next year we'll be in Portugal and laughing at Chicago weather. What a wonderful moment that will be. Let's do that next year and come back to us and say, remember that time when we said we'd laugh at the Chicago weather? Well, here we are and doing it. Cindy, lovely news. And look forward to that moment. Good morning from Sintricar. Good morning to you, Druba. When you coming on the show, man, I want to speak to you about your wonderful project and your incredible life. What a lovely man you are, and lovely to see your pictures. Looking forward to speaking to you soon. Hope all is well in Sintra. I think you're in the weather warning, aren't you? Yes, it's easy, but now in Corona times, you need to book an appointment to get it. That's your NIF number, so make sure you book your appointment before you go. Yes, did that in a month's time. I'm thinking that is the NIF as well. So some NIFy talk going on in the comments. So lots to share, as I said. And let me get rid of a few of these tabs because they're confusing me. That whole Facebook thing can go. That's definitely a confusion. Yeah, I discovered this the other day. I want to share this with you now. Mayo, my new phone network, who I thought I was really happy with, but they didn't get the photocopy of my passport and it still hasn't kicked in. And then they had the problem with the Vodafone. You don't need to know about all of that, but the Wi-Fi, the broadband, and the deal was good with Mayo. So I should big them up. But I should reserve just a little bit of what would I say? Not negativity exactly, but yeah, I've got a slight reservation about how long it's taken to actually activate my new plan. I'm used to very quick service. I'm spoiled, and I was thinking, oh, okay. 3 weeks later, I still haven't got my phone online for a number of reasons, but hopefully this week that'll be it with Mayo. But this is wonderful. This is something that Mayo offer. Where are we on the screen here? It's gone to blooming. Oh, here we go. Let me just press this because I want to show you their wonderful beach cams. Sadly, and I suppose this is how they make it work, you've got to watch adverts before you see anything. And suddenly you feel like you want a Burundi cafe for some reason, mysterious. And then you feel like you might need to go to Mini Presso later on today. This publicity ends in 23 seconds. I'm not going to put you through that, quite frankly. We'll come back to that in just a moment. So, yeah, that's dull when they're doing that to us. Instead, I've got a different kind of advert because this is funny and amusing. And I can see myself on this vehicle. I wonder if my screen hasn't shared again. Too many things that I'm trying to share with you this morning. Let me give it another go. Have you ever fancied an e-scooter? There's a Goose 2 available, folks, on the expatsportugal.com. What are we classified? The small ads of expatsportugal.com. Flora 2020 has got an electric scooter for sale. I rather like the look of this. I've seen other people on these in Portugal. I no longer use my e-scooter because it's way too hilly where they've moved to. I have the original invoice, and there's a year of guarantee left. Mileage is under 2K. So the e-scooter has had little use. It's in next to new condition, no scratches or damage, perfect for city use or trips that have an equal amount of up and down. And you whiz about, it doesn't make very much noise, does it? Going uphill for more than 10 minutes, it slows down considerably, don't we all? When I used it in the area of Tábua Alganil, it worked great. However, in the area I live now, Figueira dos Vinhos, the area district, the battery power is not sufficient. So it's on the market, folks. This e-scooter, €750. Look at that, isn't that snazzy? Rather nice. And when I first came across this, I thought, oh, let's have a mobility scooter that's being talked about there. Is that one of those like stand-up scooters? No, it's a full-on like electric bike, basically. So let's see how the beach cams are doing now. Oh, come along. 20 more seconds of advert here. Maybe if I refresh the page, it'll be an easier job. But basically, these Mayo beach cams, they've got them all over the country at any time of the night or day. Obviously, it's not that interesting at night to be looking at a beach, but any time of the day, then let's say, you can look at the beaches of Portugal. It's absolutely superb. And what I wanted to do was show you this morning the beach at Nazaré, the panoramic shot in amongst all these adverts. Yes, I understand that's how they need to make it pay. And there's a little bit of weather. This is made for surfers, isn't it? The wind direction and the weather and everything that surfers are interested in. But now I'm sorry to say I've lost the whole thing. Oh, no, here it is. I think we might, folks, stand by. Here we go. We are ready now for the full screen of Nazaré Panoramic Beach. So sorry to you on the podcast, but I will put the link into this and I will describe it for you. But despite Barbara being in full effect, the sea at Nazaré looks extremely calm. And occasionally, there we go. I think it's one of these auto zoom cameras that they've got set up there. You might be familiar with that little building there that's perched on the cliff at Nazaré. And it will zoom and pan, and you get a little shot of the beach as well. And as I say, there are these cameras all over Portugal. You can pretty much look at any popular beach in Portugal and some of the less popular ones. Let me see if I've put the sound on. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Maybe a little bit of trouble loading this morning with the beach cam there. But there you go. Mayo beach cams all over Portugal. Different beaches to look at. I daren't have a look at another one because it's going to take... Oh, there we go. There's a long shot. That's a little bit more interesting. But isn't that calm? The calm before the Barbara storm, perhaps. I think that's a lovely facility. Thank you to Mayo for that. Shame about all the ads, but that's how it works these days, isn't it? And let's move along. Let's move along, shall we? And oh no, we're not. Oh, hold on. It's zooming and panning. No, the moment's gone. The moment's gone. Let us move on to the. I want to show you a picture of the president stripped down to the waist. Yeah, I can explain. And I also want to show you the wonderful Instagram site of my guest last night, Julian Sorensen. Okay, so let me just bring that up on the screen now. Like I said, so many wonderful little bits to bring you this morning. But a lovely hour-long chat with Julian last night, originally of Denmark, and then spent his childhood in England, and then went to Berlin, and now one day just decided he needed to come to Lisbon. He did that and has not looked back. And this is one of his adventures, actually. If I just zoom back and go to the general pictures of his beautiful Instagram page here. Look at this, folks. This is so beautiful. These are all the pictures he takes on his adventures using public transport in and around Lisbon. Find out more at Lisboa_car free, all one word. There's Evra and the Chapel of the Bones. Lots of lovely places he discovers. He gives you all the bus numbers, the train numbers, all the details of how to get there, and finds all these amazing places. Drinking Moscatel there, look, in Azeitão, not far from Setúbal. Got that pronunciation right this time. Hope I can remember it. And one amazing place that we talked about, his journey of last weekend. Hear the whole interview on last night's show, but this one here, Porto Brandão, where you can get a ferry from Cais de Sodré on the north side of the river in Lisbon, and then you go on a ferry which makes a couple of stops before it gets to Trafaria, I believe, on the other side of the water in Almada. And here is what they discovered in Porto Brandão, a restaurant where you get your own little barbecue pot and you grill your own stuff. There he's got shrimps and monkfish, and a really nice, as you know, the obligatory chips and rice and a lovely salad. Is that a special kind of tomato there? It's pretty extraordinary. And look at the view across the water there and the car park. And look, a lovely little town. I have been there myself. When I lived in Almada, I did jump off the ferry onto dry land, of course, and I explored these little places, but I didn't find this as he's done. He's a Phileas Fogg of the modern age. There you go, looking back across to Lisbon on the other side there. And, you know, this looks like it's historically rich as well, Porto Brandão, and that lovely restaurant where you can barbecue your own grub and sit there and do it. He said it was great value. There it is, Porto Brandão. That's not the only thing you can have, all sorts of stuff, fondues and so on. So check it out, Lisboa Car Free on Instagram, the wonderful work of Julian Sorensen. It's a hobby for him as well. Does all this at the weekend with his pals and with his girlfriend and has an amazing time. This other place, walking along from Costa Caparica, south of Lisbon again, and this little village cafe bar where you can have, is it the caipirinha? He just discovers all these gems and is sharing them on Instagram now. So what a star he is. He even did a skydive, went to Evora on public transport and did a skydive in Evora as well. Great videos of. I don't know if you mean that's a little bit sarcastically there, Dominic. I wouldn't blame you, but yeah, you can see the beach cam there. Not the most dramatic shots of Nazaré, but I just think it's amazing, that facility, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. Dominic also adds, "Bon dia. We had great trouble trying to get our NIF. Tried online, calling, and now stuck." I think the thing about NIF numbers, this might help, Dominic, is that you don't have to go to your local office, do you? I think you can go to any Finanzas. So maybe get a tip from somebody who's used the Finanzas office fairly recently, maybe not too far from you, because obviously that's going to present a different problem. But some Finanzas offices are working more efficiently than others. And I don't think you are tied to having to go to your local one. As ever, standing by to be corrected, and always happy to be corrected so that we get you the right information. But I don't think you have to go to your local Finanzas to get a NIF number. So hopefully that will help you. Dominique, Pete's here. A little damp in Castanera de Pera this morning, but all good for the coming mushroom season. Perfect conditions, Pete, with a few guided walks with José Peixe, the mushroom man. Do you know the mushroom man? He lives down that little country lane. That sounds like a lot of fun. Guided walks with José or Zé Peixe. Can you share details about those as they come up, Pete? Really, really grateful if you could do that. Share them with the expatsportugal.com community. I think that'll be of interest to a few would-be foragers. And be careful, folks, obviously, with fungi. If in doubt, leave it out and get an expert like Zepesh to help you. We got the camping to call and make an appointment for us here in Serpa. A week to wait only. Okay, so your campsite did it for you. That's pretty smart, Anna. Yes, see if you can enlist the help of your hosts wherever you end up, who obviously will speak Portuguese and will know the lie of the land locally. That's a really smart move. Yes, that's a note made there. Maybe that will help Dominique as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the president who stripped himself down to the waist. I feel the need to keep you updated with COVID. Getting a little bit tense, perhaps, here in Portugal at the moment as cases pass 100,000. Let me just take a little sip of my tea as well for a moment. Hold on just a moment. Bear with me. We've got Peg. Can you hear Peggy barking in the background there? Another dog has turned up. This is what happens in Portugal. We've got Jimmy Choo, named that for obvious reasons. And we got Peggy, the first stray, who turned up. And now we've got Terry. Terry's turned up. He's beautiful. He's going to be huge. But he turned up and is also hanging out with us at the moment. But Peggy's barking at something out there. But I think sometimes these stormy conditions can cause a little bit of unrest among the animals, can't it? So we'll go and find out what Peggy's up to after the show. But yeah, I've got to show you Marcelo, President Marcelo, who was stripped down to the waist, doing his bit. I love this story, the tone of this. I do enjoy Natasha Don's writing, as I think you know, and still struggling to share things. Far too much I'm trying to share with you this morning. There he is in a classic hospital chair, one of those wipe down specials, a Shackleton, I think they're known as, aren't they? In back in Blighty, and he's getting a jab there. He's got his mask on, and he's stripped down to the waist. President does his bit for Portugal, naked from waist up, and that's an eye-grabbing story, and all for what he sees as a good reason. It would be something, wouldn't it, if a president did his bit naked from the waist down? I guess that might be to increase the population or something like that. But no, on this occasion, naked from the waist up, leaving a little bit to the imagination. In a strange exhibition of flesh this morning, according to Natasha Don yesterday, President Marcelo did a lot more than roll up his sleeves to try and encourage fellow citizens to get their annual flu vaccine. He took off everything from the waist up, carefully looking away from the point of the needle puncture. The head of state was photographed by the nation's press, giving a rallying message. We're all in the same boat. Naked from the waist up. If things go well, we all win. If things go less well, we all lose, was the message as Marcelo embarked on a grueling round of audiences of institutions from various sectors. The plan was to hear everyone on where the country is going and how it should get there, in brackets, in terms of the developing pandemic. Let me know what you're thinking about this. We've gone past 100,000 cases here in Portugal now. And there is I think there is a somewhat anxious and tense atmosphere developing about what's going to happen next and what measures there might be, whether we return to a state of emergency. I don't want to be fear-mongering, scaremongering. I want to keep people informed and involved in the conversation with that. And I do have to add it's not a caveat, is it? I want to add the point, really, that if you're going to be anywhere during the pandemic, Portugal has proved to be a pretty cool place to be. So remember that. Whilst I'm sharing information about how bad it's getting in some ways, relatively speaking, Portugal's done an amazing job, and I suspect and hope it will continue to do so. As the energetic head of state explained, it is important to hear everyone. In fact, the more the better, because obviously there are the consequences in life and health, as well as in employment, earnings, and people's everyday lives. And it's fair to say now, and I'm seeing them, hearing about them, there are voices of dissent, and hopefully that is part of the unfolding picture of communication with the government. Some people are feeling there's quite a challenge to democracy going on, with measures coming in that are just imposed rather than processed democratically through the political system. So a lot of voices, a lot of loud voices, to take into consideration with the job that the president and prime minister and politicians are doing at the moment. This is yet another sign that the relatively frightening going back to the article, official narrative of last week is being gently toned down. Prime Minister Antonio Costa has been on television over the weekend saying, of course, he didn't mean for police to start checking people's handbags to see if mobile phones had the government's contact tracing app installed. And today, this was yesterday, DGS health chiefs were playing down fears of a state of emergency programmed to follow the state of calamity in November. So perhaps I was jumping the gun there, even suggesting that. Said Undersecretary of State for Health, Antonio Lacerda Salas, like Graça Freitas, one of the figureheads at the DGS press conference, we are not at this phase. So they're playing that down, the idea that we will move back to a state of emergency. Currently, the evolution of the virus in Portugal has to be very well pondered and evaluated before technical decisions like that are taken, he said, stressing we are not going to anticipate scenarios. As to Marcelo's encouragement to the country to take advantage of this winter's flu vaccine, the idea is to safeguard as much of the population as possible to avoid a run on the SNS, that's the National Health Service here in Portugal. Thank you, Natasha Don, for that. I wonder what your views are. Do you get a flu jab? Is that part of your preparation for the winter? Do you do that over here in Portugal? Palavra do dia, thank you very much, Pete, for that intervention there. Palavra do dia, word of the day, mycology, the study of fungi. I'm going to do that right now, in fact, in front of your very eyes, as I like to do. Yesterday's word of the day was esperanza, which was hope. Today is mycologia. So let me just pop that live and direct in front of you and put it up on the screen so we've got that for the rest of the show. Mycologia, there it goes. We are adding it to the screen right now. Mycologia. Thank you very much for that, Pete. Really appreciate it. Yeah, do keep us update of Jose Paix's fungi tours. I got to make that joke, haven't I? I imagine he's a fun guy to hang out with. I'm sure my brother will be pleased to know you named your new stray after him. I didn't mean to. That wasn't my intention. And I can't remember now why I called him Terry. They do sound like a group of relatives coming to stay. Peggy, Jimmy and Terry, don't they? You know, aunts and uncles who are coming over on a Sunday afternoon for tea. Peggy, Jimmy and Terry. I don't know why. Why did I call him? Oh, I know. Does anybody remember the 80s production outfit called Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis? That's who my dogs are named after. I know that's a bit of an unusual reference there. But yeah, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis are the two bigger dogs. Our teacher, Donna Teresa, teaches us terça-feira, dia 20 de outubro. Okay, so let's go. With that, as well as learning that it is Faro and Stubal, we're going to go with terça-feira, dia 20 de outubro. So we don't say the 20th, we say day, whatever number of the day it is. So day 1, day 2, day 20, for example. Thank you for that, Gianni. Really appreciate it. Live from Belgium this morning. Superb. Okay, before I go, want to let you know about, yes, do tell Terence, I've named my dog after him, won't you, Gary? I want to just share with you Thursday's webinar, Portugal Calling webinar. It's a good one. Well, they all are. They get, as Donald Trump would say, big numbers on the YouTube channel, where they're all available for your perusal. And let me tell you what this Thursday's Portugal Calling is going to be. An important one, understanding Portugal's D7 visa and the NHR tax regime. And I mean, nobody wants to talk about tax, really, do they, at any time of the day or night? I'm sorry I'm doing this to you at 9:30 on a Tuesday morning. But if you want to know the detail here from an expert, and it was her picture I put at the beginning, the starter screen came from Gilda Pereira, not only an expert on D7 and NHR, she's also a very keen photographer, and I'm using a few of her photographs for starter screens. An unexpected and brilliant skill she has, as well as joining me for a conversation this Thursday, 22nd of October at 8 o'clock. Hour-long webinar, deep diving into the D7 visa and NHR tax regimes. Who is eligible? Find out more about the retirees, self-funded visas and non-habitual resident tax regime, tax-free living. It says there, two of the most popular topics on our forum are at expatsportugal.com. Sign up for free. Are the D7 residence visa and the non-habitual resident tax regime. And at this webinar with Gilda from AE Migrant, we'll be discussing both schemes, who is eligible and how to apply. So there you go. The D7, in case you don't know, covers those wishing to retire or move to Portugal self-funded. And we'll be looking at where and how to start the process. The NHR tax regime allows generous tax breaks eligible for those eligible people moving to Portugal, including no tax of private pensions and the absence of double taxation. That's got to be good news, isn't it? Double taxation, that sends a shiver, doesn't it? If you're a premium member, simply secure your seat by clicking our RSVP option there. And everyone else needs to join a waiting list. So another good reason to become a premium member at expatsportugal.com. 25 euros, that'll cost you, and you'll get access to big discounts off services, a lot of professional services, including Gilda Pereira's, who is our guest on the Portugal Calling webinar on Thursday. Straight after that, folks, it is the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, and we are on to our 17th bottle selection. And it is the Patria selection, a red from Alentejo, under the excellent leadership of Neil Perkins, who is an absolute aficionado of Alentejan wines and culture. And he's leading not the charge, leading the tasting of that Patria. Go to the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club group on Facebook. The selection is in there, and I believe it's available from Continent, and it's a bargain. I think it's down to about $2.99 or $3.49. Drink responsibly, folks, and enjoy a glass of wine with us and savor that with us on Thursday evening. And, of course, looking forward to the rest of the week. The Expat Man Cave, of course, returns on Friday as well, having a lot of fun in the Expat Man Cave for men of a certain age, making sense of their new life here in Portugal. And that would apply to other expats around the world too. We've done that little bit of language tuition there. Thanks to you, Jenny. Thank you to everybody for your comments. I just want to make sure I've covered everything that I wanted to share with you. It's been a mixed bag this morning, and I hope it was something of interest for everybody in there. Certainly some good Portuguese tips. Faro and Setúbal, remember, everybody. And terça-feira, dia 20 de outubro. And on that note, I wish you a great day here in Portugal if you're here, and a lovely day wherever else you might be around the world, hatching your plans to come over to Portugal. Take care. Bye for now. Abraços, beijinhos. Ciao, ciao.